So let's talk about the QBs a little bit. I've been watching this guy since his first game. Like his first game, I was like, dude, this guy's an NFL QB. And I kind of like fell in love with him a little bit. I'm not in love with him anymore. I think he still needs to prove some stuff, but it's Sam Howell, quarterback out of UNC. Everyone says he reminds them of Baker Mayfield, and I definitely see that. He's 6'1", 225. As a true freshman, he completed 61% of his passes, 8.6 yards per attempt, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. In 2020, he upgraded his completion percentage all the way up to 68%, had 10.3 yards per attempt, 30 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. The thing that I loved about him, and it's something that I really love about Daniel Jones too, is his ball placement. Like his ball placement downfield and accuracy all over the field is really good for Sam Howell. Like that's why he has, those big plays, is because he had some wide receivers, which I want to talk about. And he is more of a touch thrower. He's not putting a ball in a laser. He's got arm strength. He's got NFL arm strength, but he doesn't have like that laser Josh Allen arm. So he has a touch throw on those deeper passes, but his accuracy is beautiful. And like I said, his arm strength is good, not great. Pocket manipulation and feel for the pocket is really good. Like he knows when to get out of the pocket, when to move around. So he has really good feel for that. What I will say with that though is he loses his accuracy a little bit on that. Like he'll have some bad passes when he gets out and he's on the move, or sometimes and there is times where he'll leave a little too early, where it's like, did you stuck in the pocket for another half second? You had someone a window opening up, but that's stuff that you get, you work on at the quarterback position.
He gets pretty nailed too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's gotten lit up a few times, but that's part of that big play offense, and it's kind of why I like Sam Howell. Like that's another thing about him, with Jones, like he's not afraid to take a hit. He'll look down the pipe and deliver a ball while taking a hit. Not really a good athlete. He can get out and move, but he's just not a good athlete, to compare to today's NFL quarterbacks, especially compared to the guy you're going to talk about. His footwork is iffy. Like it's inconsistent. Like it's like you can see it's like, hey, it just needs to be worked on and get better at. And that's something I'm going to be looking for this year. Like it's not dreadful, but there's times where it's like your footwork could be a little better here. Throwing mechanics, like his arm throw, and that's another thing. That's like, the first game I saw him, it wasn't like he lit the game up. It was like his throwing mechanics are beautiful. Like the way his quick release out of the arm, like I love that stuff. Here's what I'll say. I think Sam Howell can prove that he's the guy this year, or he could be the guy who it's like, wow, we looked at him as a first round QB, because he's losing a lot of guys. He's losing De'Ami Brown, who was, the number one, deep ball guy in college football last year. He's losing, even Daz Newsome, who's a good slot receiver, and the running backs, Javonte Williams and Michael Carter. He's losing both those guys. So I like Sam Howell a lot. I think he's got some stuff to prove. Some people say he's part of, he's a system QB. I don't think that. But he's got a year to prove. But I like Sam Howell. Don't love him, like him. But I could love him if Jones doesn't work out and we're looking at QBs and he has a good year.
It's funny. I just watched a couple minutes of QB school with Sam Howell. Now, this was at least talking about the previous year, and he was talking about his footwork, how like, oh, this is for a freshman. This is some of the best footwork I've ever seen. And because something that is going to connect Sam Howell and Malik Willis, who was my quarterback, we'll even just start the connection right now. Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty. They're I feel like they're the polar opposites. Now, I actually think Howell's footwork is kind of solid, where he's not really crossing his feet. The phrase that JT O'Sullivan says all the time is clicking the heels. He's not really clicking the heels where you see Peyton Manning, right? I feel like Peyton Manning is he's a pretty telltale good example of.
That's why I said if like Daniel Jones' footwork is like really, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But with Howell, it's like there's times where it's like you kind of got lazy on this play with your footwork.
Okay.
So it's not like he's in like it's just sometimes I notice it's like, dude, you got your feet like next to each other and you're standing straight up in the pocket.
Yeah. Howell also goes through his progressions too, which I at least I'm not a quarterback evaluator, but I like that, seeing that out of a college QB. It's like you're going to be expected to do that in the pros. Can you do it at the college level? And I think he's done a little bit too. So